Saints. We'll get into that a little bit later for sure. Probably in the second half hour. We got some headlines to talk about. All sorts of stuff going on. Hope you're having a great Thursday morning. I hope you had a good night last night. Hope you won. I hope you made some money. But it's time for us to be on because it's the right side of campus here. Make sure you hit the like button, say hello, and communicate with us on the chat. And we'll get to you when we can. Donnie, so last night I went to my parents. I had a nice dinner, Donnie. I'm feeling great. My mom cooked. How about that? I don't get a home cooked meal very often, Donnie, so it was nice to have.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's always nice to get a little bit of home cooking in there. I agree.
Home cooking's got to be one of the best things, isn't it?
No, who doesn't love that? You know what I mean? You can go out to McDonald's, you can go out to an Italian restaurant, but just something about, pulling up to a good, nice, homemade from scratch meal at home. You can't beat that.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you, if you had to have one home cooked meal that your mother used to make you, what would you eat?
One home cooked meal that moms used to make, I would probably say I'm a big fan of the crock pot. Not for the whole meal, but like you throw a roast on it like 5 a.m. and it cooks all day long in the crock pot till like 5:30 or 6 when everybody gets home. You might have the nice scalloped potatoes that you make, maybe some greens on the side, biscuits. I mean, something like that. One of those like where it's cold outside and you get one of those warm, hearty meals. Always my favorite.
Donnie, you know what we had last night? The fucking best meal ever. Little meatloaf, macaroni and cheese.
Meatloaf? Yes.
I don't eat like a lot like that anymore. Terrific, man. So good. It was literally like great, I didn't have my brother there, cacaron all the time. It was just me and my parents, and my dad. Terrific. But crock pots I don't really see those anymore. I guess they're still around, right?
Oh, I have at least, I use my crock pot at least twice a week in the winter. Absolutely.
Do you cook, Donnie?
How are they obsolete?
That's
grill.
What someone's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can make pastas and all that stuff, but I'm not making like, some pork chops and like all that stuff. I grill out and I use the crock pot most of the time.
Sure. All right, guys, let's get into the show here. This is a sports show, Donnie, as they say. But let's get into some headlines. Baker against you. I don't know why this is still a story, frankly. I don't know why people are still talking about this. I don't know why we're talking about this. What the hell? Like, what more do you want the kid to do? Hugh comes over to him, shakes his hand. He shakes his hand. What more? What did he do wrong, Donnie?
I don't think anybody did anything wrong, but it's kind of interesting when you look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, we all know Baker Mayfield's a dick. Like, you know what I mean? He probably doesn't have that many close friends because he just seems like he's that dick type of guy. You know what I mean? But I like it and I don't like it at the same time. It's kind of interesting. Like when you see like Baker Mayfield, you want your quarterback to be like, dude, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. Like, Hugh's a clown. That's what I think. As opposed to normal PC talk from a quarterback who'll be like, yeah, it's a shame he couldn't do this. And, because you play devil's advocate in this, you say, well, Baker, dude, you left, in conference to go to another team and an opportunity. Nobody stopped you from doing that. Same thing with Hugh. Hugh didn't leave. Hugh didn't resign and be like, you know what? I don't like this organization. Going over to Cincinnati. I mean, he did get fired, so he does have a right to seek work. So I appreciate both sides of the argument. Hugh going, getting a job and trying to, congratulate Baker Mayfield, but also see Baker Mayfield, that young dick that he is, going after Hugh Jackson.
Well, but Donnie, here's the thing. After the game's over, Hugh runs over to Baker. Baker shakes his hand. Hugh walks away. What more needs to go on there?
No, nothing. As Baker said it in the press conference. You know what I mean? He could have diffused it right there, just put it to bed. Hey, come over. What did he say? Like, hey, great job. I said, good luck, coach. And that's the way we left it. But he wanted to escalate it because that's what Baker Mayfield is. Which is great. It's great for, like, if he's your quarterback, you would love that.
I guess I didn't hear. What did he say to the guy? What did he say? I didn't even hear.
He basically just clowned him in the past two interviews. Like, he's not here, and I'm not worried about that guy, and this and that, and he wanted to say hello, and I just basically mushed his face. That's basically what those two interviews were with Baker Mayfield. He had a chance to defuse it, but didn't. Which again, if he's you would love that. If he's a quarterback of your team, you like, hell yeah, Baker, get it. But public perception, that's just Baker Mayfield being his little baby self.
You know what, Donnie? I almost at this point with this kid, I almost kind of like it because there's
I
a
do.
lot of
That's
these
what's
guys that
weird.
wouldn't
Yeah,
do
that's what's
that.
weird for me, Jeff. Like, I actually don't technically dislike it. I'm just saying you could see both sides of what's going
Sure.
on. Like, oh, why did you do this? Why did you do this? But again, if he's your quarterback, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you love that, man. You kidding me? Get the hell out,
Yeah.
coach.
No,
It's my team. Let's go.
that's what you've been lacking for so long there.
Yes, I agree.
Uh,
I agree.
Baker reminds me of a frat boy. Yeah, most kids that age do.
Yeah,
I mean, most kids that play football or go to college and
he's
are
gonna
that
be a
age.
great villain. He'll be a
Yeah,
fantastic villain. It's gonna be fun to watch over the
sure.
next 10 years.
Good morning from Nola. Welcome in, Nola.
Ola.
St. Louis Elite, 700 on Saints minus 3.5. Listen, Saints Elite, I respect you and your play, but I wouldn't admit you have that play. That's a little
What's the
that's a little
alt spread
embarrassing.
down to 3.5? What is risk 700, like, or risk 2,100 to
Win
win
200.
700?
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's an odd bet, St. Louis Elite. I don't understand your like. So you bought it bought it off of 7. You bought it to 3.5, and you could still get beat by the Hawk on 3. I don't know. It makes no sense. That's a very dumb bet, dude. And look, I'm not clowning you, bro. It doesn't seem like it makes sense. You're risking a lot of fucking money, man. When you can still get beat on a hook. So what do you think? They're going to win by 4? Is that what you're telling us? They're going to win between 3.5 and 7? Why not just bet Saints win by 3 to 6 then? Or something like. I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know that I
I always
understand
like
that.
that, Jeff. There's people that use that philosophy, right? Boy, this is a great game. One of my favorites of the year by a point. Obviously, it's not your favorite of the year then if you're buying points.
Oh yeah, no, those are the best.
Now, Jeff, like it really? If you were really putting your neck out on line, you'd like, you know what? Saints going to beat them so bad. I'm going to buy it to 7. No. Here's what you think. Saints going to be so bad. I took the alt line minus 14.5. They roll.
This is my max bomb of the year. But I want you to buy a point on it because I love that number so much. I want you to buy a point and buy it to 1.
You should be role reversing, right? You should be role reversing. Like, you know what? Dallas. Not only is Dallas going to win tonight, Dallas minus 7.5. Let's roll.
You fool! You fool! I can't believe you do stuff like that. You fool! Imbecile! Pathetic! I mean, I don't understand.
Game tonight, though. I'm actually excited for this game, Jeff. I usually get that excited for Dallas Cowboy games, but I think it's going to be a really good football game when we break it down a little bit.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm a Cowboy fan, and I love the Saints. Yeah, well, yeah.
It's just interesting, man. Like, I got a lot of good thoughts on this game. I don't think it's as cut and dry as most people are like lining up, but there's one really, really big injury that, again, we won't tip it now. We'll wait till a little bit later.
We'll chat about it here in a little bit. Westbrook ties Jason Kidd for triple doubles. Definitely a great plateau to reach. Anytime you can match Jason Kidd in anything. Listen, you could say what you want, Donnie. I'm sure you threw this in here to take a shot at Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing at the end of the day, Donnie. The one thing you can't take a shot at, the kid plays hard. You can't take a shot at him. Getting a triple-double nightly is very difficult. Again, he is who he is. They're playing pretty well this year. Let's just get this over with.
Yep. Look, I don't have anything. Westbrook is an immense talent. Westbrook plays as hard as anybody out there. But Westbrook doesn't care about winning, so I would never want him on my team. If you asked Westbrook today, you gave him true serum, and you sat him in a chair, and you said, would you rather have the most triple-doubles of all time or win a championship? He, in his state of mind, would say, give me all the triple-doubles. I don't give a shit about my team. So, that's it. He's great talent, though.
Michigan blasts North Carolina. Big win for Michigan. They continue to look very good. You beat up on Villanova already. Beat up on UNC last night. You beat UNC's good. You beat them up bad. That's an impressive win. Michigan, Donnie, on the basketball front, continues to just be that team that no one wants to play. The difference this year is, defensively look great. Offense is terrific. They haven't really missed a beat. We're only 6-7 games into the season, but so far they look really good. You can make the case right now. Those 2 wins. They're surely a top 5 team at this point. Terrific work by Michigan. Beeline continues to get a lot out of little. He has no stars on that team. He has no 5-star recruits on that team. He has guys that play. and get the job done. He gets the most out of them. He's a great coach, man. At the end of the day, you say all you want about Michigan or whatever, but they're not a basketball school. To get to the Final Four, to get to the championship game, years in and years out, to do what they do with very little is quite impressive.
No, it is. It is. I mean, if you're looking at what they're doing, entering into the season and what you expect out of it, Jeff, I mean, that's what you want early on. And let me ask you a question, Jeff. If you had a time, you call a timeout, you have 6 seconds left in the game. What coach would you want drawing up that play?
Beilein.
He's so good, man. Like his playbook must be like an NFL playbook. Like, how you just go to the sideline and be like, dude, I got the perfect scenario for this situation. And it gives you a wide open jumper layup every single time. Just a cerebral coach. Look, he doesn't get a lot because you have to win a lot, obviously. You're not going to be on the Coach K level or, Calipari's going to get a lot of the headlines. Beilein just stays in the cut is one of my favorite coaches, man.
Let me tell you something. And I've talked about this. I really look at coaches from a different wavelength than most people do. Most people look at wins and how many Final Fours they have and stuff like that. But I think you have to look at what they're doing with less. And when you're looking at also, the level of a coach and what he does for play off the court and things like that, I could make the case Beilein is right there with Few and with Jay Wright. To me, the three best coaches in the country are Wright, Few, and Beilein. The other three or four, Krzyzewski, Self, those guys couldn't coach out of a fucking paper bag with the talent that those guys have. And they get the best talent, so of course they're going to be great. Donnie, do you think? Let me ask you: if you put Mike Krzyzewski on Dartmouth, do you think they would get to the? Not even that. Let's say a middling program like. Do you think if you put Krzyzewski at Michigan, do you think he'd have as much success as Beilein's had?
I think he would, yeah, over the years.
Yeah,
just because Krzyzewski, but Duke was a high institution, hard to get into. So Michigan and Duke have a lot of the same levels of what they actually have to deal with. I think that's a very good comparison between the two, but I think Krzyzewski would because Krzyzewski's a much, much better recruiter where I think Beilein will come in and not hard sell you like Krzyzewski and go, look at all the guys I coach. You need to be here. I'm not leaving until you come with me. When Beilein would probably come in your living room and be like, hey, look, you're going to get a great education. We're going to play 10 guys a night. You're going to be well prepared. You're going to work hard. And I can't promise you anything. That's what John Beilein would probably tell you. So,
a couple of questions here. Is Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder a big deal stateside? No, I've not heard really anything about it.
I'm not a big boxing guy, but does just sound like Deontay Wilder knocks him out in the first 10 seconds of the fight?
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
Listen, I want to make this clear. I think Wilder destroys Fury. I've said that for a while. I think
I don't even understand why he's more of like a sideshow that dances around with no. I don't even understand why he's a boxer. I don't know.
See, the thing about Fury though, he's lost a ton of weight. He had some mental problems for a while. He had some drug issues. He's an interesting character, Donnie Fury. He's a gypsy. I don't know if you know that, but he HBO Real Sports did a thing on him. He's a real interesting character, man. Like the way he is, and he's a wild guy, and he seems like he's toying with Wilder, and maybe he just has something for him. But look, I saw him fight. I saw Fury about 6 months ago fight an Albanian cat. Albanian cat was much smaller than him. It was just a joke of a fight, and he looked slow. He looked. I don't know. Wilder looks like. Way more chiseled. I got to look more into it, but I think
now this fight isn't. This isn't even going to be a straight up fight, is it? I just think you're going to see some really crazy shenanigans in this fight. To me, I just can't see them just going toe to toe for 6 rounds and let the best man win. I just think something weird's going to happen in this fight.
Yeah, look. The thing with Fury is he's got an awkward fighting style, and he, they're both big guys. Look, the winner's going to win by knockout. This ain't going 12 rounds, all right?
Fury's not knocking anybody yet.
Fury's a tough guy. Fury's a big dude, man. I mean, he's pretty quick too for his size, and he's lost a lot of weight. So, but yeah, Wilder is just he's. I don't know. I think he has some magic that Fury doesn't. But we'll see here. What else do we have here? So yeah, Michigan, they look great. I mean, they're definitely a team to start to buy into. And Donnie, you look at odds right now. I mean, you can still get Michigan at pretty good odds to win the national title. I mean, if you're looking at someone, let's say at 25, 30 to 1, I mean, who better to look at than Michigan, Donnie? I mean, they have the pedigree. They're always go deep into the tournament. I mean, at least they get there, Donnie, unlike most others. You talk about a Virginia or someone like that. I mean, who would you be more inclined to take at this point? Michigan or Virginia? Michigan's much more chiseled. They generally get there anyway. That's a pretty good bet, Donnie. Michigan 25 to 1, 30 to 1. Maybe if you're looking for a decent future to bet on.
Yeah.
Big man, any chance Vorskla wins against Arsenal? Well, I have to see the lineup. I have no idea. I have
Young
to see
Boys almost
lineup.
got a W, Jeff. Lost 1-0 to who? Manchester? Almost, man.
Well, yeah. I mean that's not surprising. I mean, they played pretty well, Young Boys. I mean, they're on the road too. It was a solid game for them. But they shouldn't be beating United. So that's a nice win. But you're right. They're there, and that's all that matters. But no, I have to see the lineups. I have no idea who's playing until then. Someone's asking about Marist, if they should bet Marist today. Listen, I'm not going to tell you that you should ever bet Marist. Okay, they're not a good team, and Donnie, you know who they're playing
Tiny card
today?
here, Jeff. Tiny card.
Who's that?
No, tiny card tonight in college basketball. Like,
Oh,
we're dipping through some scraps tonight, baby.
Yeah, there's not much going on. This game's over in Dublin. This game, Marist and Dartmouth. Now, Donnie, who is a big time graduate at Dartmouth? Do you know?
Jay Feely?
No,
Jay
Michael
Feely
Corleone.
Oh, really? How about that?
Michael Corleone, if you remember in the movie, in Godfather, he went to Dartmouth.
Not Jay Fiedler. Jay Fiedler, I think is what I was saying.
Yeah, Fiedler. Fiedler, right.
Did he go there? Did he actually go there?
Who, Fiedler?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where did he go here? I'm going to try to find this. Dartmouth. There he goes.
He did go to Dartmouth.
He's my old ass head. Remember that. Wow.
Yeah. I think he's from Long Island, I want to say. Let's move on here. Final story here. Reuben Foster goes to the we didn't get to this the other day because we had the roundtable yesterday. Reuben Foster goes to the Redskins. Look, I don't really I don't know how this guy's still in the NFL, frankly. I think you look at his constant behavior issues. But hey, I mean, talent pays down in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I mean, San Francisco was like ground zero for this. You do remember like a super talented defensive end by the name of Aldon Smith, who was having bomb reports and just a completely insane individual. But if he could sack double digits per year, they stuck by him like family. And they did the same thing with Reuben Foster, zero tolerance. But the zero tolerance comes after 3 or 4 things he done. And then we're going to go zero tolerance again. It's not that I'm actually surprised, Jeff, that he didn't clear waivers and the Redskins, went out and claimed him. But you saw the cover-up, right? Did no due diligence, didn't make any phone calls to police, and all they did was send out some blanket statement that said, went in the locker room, we asked a couple of the Alabama guys. They're like, yeah, damn, that's my boy. And we're like, okay, cool, we'll pick him up. And then they go back in the locker room the next day, and they ask a couple of the Alabama guys, like, nobody talked to me about this. That's just the Redskins for you right there, isn't it? Like, hey, we have a couple of Alabama guys. Put it out there that we talked to all of them. You know who you should talk to, too? Like, here's what you should do in free agency.
Maybe you should talk to the girlfriend.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is going to be a free agent at the end of the year, is what it looks like. Who's the first team that first guy that you probably shouldn't call to get a true story on Jameis Winston? Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby has been in the most weirdest predicaments with Jameis Winston, but always had. You need friends like this in life. Trust me, you do. But Ronald Darby, and when they had the whole sexual assault case on campus at FSU, it was Ron Darby's testimony that got Jameis Winston out of that. And then if you looked at the Uber driver who claimed that she was assaulted by Winston, but Ron Darby said he was in the car in the drive-thru when he wasn't and signed a sworn affidavit at that point. So maybe if Jameis Winston goes up there, Jeff, and the Washington Redskins, now that Alex Smith is down, you probably shouldn't call Ron Darby and say, hey, you know what? You were his teammate. How is he as a character over there? Oh, yeah, he's awesome, man. He's awesome.
I mean, you look at the comment, by Gruden yesterday. So listen to this comment, Donnie. He's got a lot of work to do before he even thinks about anything as far as with the Redskins. He's got the NFL to deal with. He's got the law enforcement to deal with. And he's got us to deal with. We hold our standards very high. We just want to get to the bottom of what happened, and that's it. So why even get involved? Get involved with this. Why do you want this public outcry? Why do you want this crap? This guy don't. Why are we rewarding people like this?
No, and it's the same thing we talked about the other day, Jeff. When you bring it up, like now he says, all right, I have 5 damaging things to me in the last 3 years, but you know what? I still got picked up by a football team. So what's going to stop him from going out and doing the same thing again? Because they go, somebody's going to pick me up. What's the big deal?
Yep. I'll be all right. It's fine.
What were you going to say before that?
No, I just the whole, the interview and the people, of course they're going to tell you, bros, that's what people do. Friends do that. Donnie, if I'm out somewhere and someone comes up, if feds come talking to me, hey, we want to hear more about this guy, I'm not saying nothing. I don't know anything about that.
If I'm around you and the cops come up, be like, Jeff, I'm selling you down the river. I'm like, this guy's a clown, man. Take care of this.
You. No, if someone comes to me and say, tell us about this Donnie. What's his story? Donnie, perfect example. If someone comes to me, let's say SBR came to me and said, hey, we want this person to come work for us. Oh, I'll give you my candid opinion. I think they're good people. I'm not going to, if you're my friend, there'd be no way I'd ever say anything.
Yeah, we got a sworn statement from your best friend that says, dude, you are a clown, man. It's like, whoa, man, he really sold me out like that, huh? Yeah, but Ron Darby is that friend you need everywhere because no matter what happens, he will sign that sworn affidavit that said he didn't do anything and we were, all in the car at the same time. Ron Darby's one for the ages. And it's amazing that Ron Darby doesn't catch more slack for those two stories because the two main things that could send you behind bars, the main testimony guys, Darby, and both times he gets proved this didn't happen like this, Ron. Are you sure? I don't know. I just, that's what I thought happened.
Jared Smooth checking in with, Jared Smooth, then why are you watching the show? If you think this is Zionist propaganda, why are you watching it? Go away.
Yeah, you Jewish? Yeah. Are you Jewish?
You lunatic. No, I'm not Jewish. Get out of here. Beat it with this crap. I love these. You also love the guys. I can't believe you guys talk about sports. That is so fixed. You don't know. You don't know that deep down. It's all connected to the Freemasons. Shut up, lunatics. Jameis Winston to the Eagles on the testimony of Darby minus 280.
Look, yeah, you know what?
Settle down, McIntosh.
You're trying to get that backup quarterback. You want to rehab him. So you go in the locker room and be like, Ron, you know this guy. Is Jameis a good guy? Hell yeah. He's one of the best guys I've ever known.
That's my boy. I love that dude. Yeah. He never did anything in that car.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Reuben Foster getting teams to buy in again. These guys.
Yeah, and my favorite part is they pick them up because they're in still a playoff race, right? Watch. This is how stupid Dan Snyder is. But he's on that protected list for the NFL, so he has to clear 25 hurdles and then probably will get suspended anyway. I don't know, man. It's pretty funny. Did they expect they were going to scoop him up real quick and get 2 or 3 games out of him, like the Michael Kendrick situation out in Seattle? I really think that's what they thought, Jeff.
I guess. I mean, you got a lot to deal with, though. My whole thing, Donnie, he never plays for the team. That's my guess. Somebody's asking about a basketball game tonight, and I actually have an interesting breakdown for this one. And it's not involved because Donnie's never going to involve this game because it's a very low level game. But McNeese State heading to SMU. SMU are interesting because they are a team that when I have a team that can shoot the basketball, I want to bet against SMU, like a Lipscomb. That's a perfect candidate to shred SMU because what SMU does is they pack their defense really, really far in. They allow you to shoot the basketball, but they're not going to allow any penetration. They don't want to get you to the line. That's what Jankovic's defenses do. So if you have a team that can really pop it from 3, they're going to get shot on all night. So if you're making some shots, you have a high percentage. Betting against SMU is probably a good idea. And that's no secret. Look at Lipscomb. Lipscomb went in there and beat them because they shot the ball well. If you can shoot the ball from 3 well, you'll beat SMU. Problem with McNeese State is they can't do that. They only shoot in the 20s. I think they're 25% from 3. Their best player is Malik Hines. You know Malik Hines? He played at UMass. He's a big player at UMass under Kellogg. He transferred. Now he's at McNeese State. I don't think they'll do well in this game. This is a bad matchup for McNeese in this one. I'd lean SMU here. I just think it's a terrible schematic matchup. Who's going to break down like that, Donnie? Get the fuck out of here. Beat it. I'll tell you one thing. I might have started off 0-9.
Big man.
I bet I start off 0-9. listen, you can't find that shit nowhere. I might be started off 0-9, but I can break them small schools down better than anybody on earth. Get out of here. 5 in a row, by the way. We got to keep moving. Big man doesn't comprehend basic English.
You know Donnie sent you that information. You know Donnie sent you that game before, and then you just acted like you had no idea, and you just read it off a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah. Big man doesn't comprehend basic English. Jared Smooth doesn't comprehend basic anything. Fuck off, will you? Go away. I don't say that to any listener, but I will to you. Go away. Someone block
I've heard you say it to a couple listeners.
We don't need this guy on here. He doesn't offer anything sports related. He's just talking about
Jeff.
Jews,
come on, that's the reason. Look, we'd only have 179 in here if we booted him. So we're at 1.
Good. I'm good with that. I don't care about people calling me a fat fuck or whatever. I don't want this guy in here though. He's annoying and this doesn't make sense. What else do we have here? Ski Profit. What's up, bro? Hope you're doing well, Ski Profit. Ski Profit. Jansen Bonzone, what's up? Kevin, Big Joe, Cal Bear, what's up? Skooma Steve, welcome in. Let's get to some football. Are you ready for some football on Thursday night?
Good Thursday battle.
Let's get into it here. You got the Saints headed on the road to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys getting 7 points here. 51.5 on a total. Going to go right to you, right side. What do you like here?
Yeah, good one. I mean, look, and we talked about it this week, and it's not a true Thursday night game, so you're going to get a pretty good matchup. And the reason I say that is you have the full 7 days to prepare. You can get some guys healthy back there. You can put your game plan in. The team that's coming in on the road isn't stuffed in there and saying, I get a half of a practice in, and then I got to travel.
Wow,
and, oh my God, I'm playing a full game Thursday. So.
You see the Saints, man. It's 10-1 ATS this year. 7-1 as a favorite. They've covered 21 of 27 as a favorite. Wow, they are really good laying points.
You run into a bear set like you're going to get tonight. It's going to be interesting. And the one thing that I actually agree, Jeff, with the line movement. You have 71% on the New Orleans Saints. That line was at 7.5 most of the week. Now it's coming down to 7 in a lot of places. I actually agree with that because I think the game is going to be at a little slower pace than what that 51, 52 is showing up. Because Chris opened up at 54.5, Pinnacle about the same. Now you're down to seeing some 51s. Because I really do think that game plan, which I think is a flawed game plan a little bit for the Dallas Cowboys, Jeff, is to run Zeke heavy and slow the game down and, do all this stuff to try to keep New Orleans and the Saints off the field, which there's a little bit of, agreement in there because you don't technically want to go toe-to-toe, but I would like to see that offense open up and see Dak play as well as he did, Jeff, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars a couple weeks ago at home, and they just blew him right off the field. They had a nice aggressive offense. Now they had Amari Cooper. They can do some things to the Saints defense because the Saints defense, as we know, Jeff, what are they built for? They're built for rushing the passer. They're built for having a lead by 7 to 10 points and pinning their ears back and getting after it. They're going to get punched in the mouth by this offense tonight for the Dallas Cowboys, but how effective can that Cowboys offense is? And we talked earlier about the one key injury in this football game. That's Tyron Smith, all-world left tackle. I don't think he's going to play. He didn't practice all week fighting elbow and neck stingers. When you don't practice at all, how effective can you be, Jeff, when you're just going to show up on the field and say, I'm going to start at left tackle and face a couple good pass rushers? He's not going to play, and that's going to be huge because if he was ready to go and healthy in this game, that's a huge advantage for the Dallas Cowboys going up against that defensive line for the New Orleans Saints. But overall, play-wise in this game, I think Dallas is going to give New Orleans a little bit of trouble because New Orleans hasn't faced a formidable defense in a couple weeks. And I think we can agree when New Orleans last went on the road in a dome environment, yes, they beat the Minnesota Vikings. But I know, Jeff, from watching that game, you were watching it as well and had a wager on it. A couple things go wrong in that game, and Minnesota walks away with an easy victory versus the Saints. I think Dallas is going to be able to hang around in this football game, and I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think it's a tough matchup for them. I mean, Saints very good against the run. Think you're going to make Dak beat you? Can Dak do that? I think he's shown he maybe can, but I'm not going to really pay to see it. If you're betting the Cowboys +7, you're playing for a missed extra point. Yeah, I hear you. You're definitely not getting the best number either. Saints are so good, ATS, but I hate the road team on a Thursday, but this isn't a true Thursday game.
So throw that out. Yeah, this is a Sunday. Take this as a regular, normal Sunday game. Throw that Thursday night out for tonight, definitely.
Exactly.
I just want to check the numbers. I had the numbers pulled up on the New Orleans Saints. But just like overall, when you look at like the defense, look, I mean, Minnesota's a pretty good defense, right? So they go on the road, win 30-20. But Jeff, if we really get inside the numbers of that game, New Orleans Saints on offense in that game, Jeff, 270 total yards versus Minnesota. Then you played the Rams, who they're going to engage you in a shootout, so you're going to get some yards. You played Cincinnati, who was god-awful. You played the Eagles, who had nobody on defense and threw the towel in that football game. And then you play the Atlanta Falcons, and you go and you have, 300 yards in that football game. Dallas has a really good defense. And this comes from the non-biased, that says, oh, you love the Eagles. No, this Dallas Cowboys defense is legitimate, Jeff. You want to talk about organic pressure where they're living in your backfield just from the front four? They've done that all year long. Watch Dallas Cowboy football games at the snap, and you'll see those white jerseys and stars dominate that line of scrimmage. Can you have two better, younger linebackers right now in the NFL who are fast, physical, and make big-time plays than the Dallas Cowboys have? You need that one super freak cornerback that Byron Jones is for the Dallas Cowboys to match up with Michael Thomas. And then you say, you know what? Having Kamara in the backfield, I get it. He's going to get his yards. Ingram's going to get his yards up the middle. But if you can slow down that offense and get an organic pass rush on Drew Brees, which they can, they're going to give New Orleans problems tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you do worry about the big playability, but you're right. This defense is really good. You know what, Donnie? You know what I'm kind of looking at here? If I have to play this game, this is how I'm going. And I want to make this clear. I don't really think there's a lot of value in this game, frankly. I think it'd be a good game to watch as a neutral and hope for the Cowboys to lose because I hate the Cowboys. I like the under. I think the under. And again, I'm getting a bad number, which sucks. But I should have kind of probably looked into this a little bit earlier. But I still think the under's worth it because you're going to get people. People love Saints overs. They love the Saints overs. They think the big playability. They don't love their defense. Most casual bettors. Maybe they look at Dallas and say, "Well, this offense is getting going a little bit." I don't love their defense either. They're a bit, just maybe I don't know much about them. I think this total might stay under. I think this is a decent, maybe a 24, 17 type of game or 24-20.
Yeah, it's hard to do in a dome, Jeff. But your settlement is absolutely right because technically, when you take a look at both of these. I think you're right. I'm in agreement with you here. When you look at both of their offenses, right, the New Orleans Saints, not the big play. And you say, wait, they score tons of points. They're so precision. That's why they score points. Alvin Kamara, Ingram, balance, wide receivers who you never heard of making diving catches all over the place. Perfect placement from footballs from Drew Brees. But they're not really that team, Jeff, anymore that used to see 4 to 5 years ago, the Brandon Cooks of the world, Kenny Stills. Let me drop back and just launch bombs downfield. Let's take care of it. The Saints are more likely to go on one of those, damn, what a drives, 7-8 plays where they don't even have a third down. You know what I mean? 8 yards, 9 yards, 10 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards. They're that good at that point. And when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, outside of Amari Cooper taking a slant pass 70 yards, are the Dallas Cowboys a big play offense? No. They want Zeke to, you know what? First down and 10. Zeke gets 5 yards up the middle. All right, let's get the quarterback out on the move. Let's see if we can pick up first downs. So both of these teams, like if you would say like New Orleans versus Kansas City, oh boy, here we go. Or New Orleans versus the Rams, you have another big play counter offense, which if the Saints need to kick it into another gear, they can do it. But Dallas's defense will hold this game down. I think Dallas's offense is going to do enough to get first downs to slow the tempo. Again, but it's hard. 51 and a half, whatever it is, Jeff. How many times have we seen it? Ooh, look at this. 14-10 at the half. We're sitting in a good position, and all hell breaks loose. But I agree with your settlement. It should be an under game.
Just to make this clear as well, 32 teams in the NFL, as we know. Saints 30th in pace, Dallas 25th. So both these teams very slow, very methodical. Maybe we get to the red zone, we get a turnover, touchdowns instead of field goals instead of touchdowns. And Donnie, 2 questions for you. How many people are going to tease this to pick them or a half or 1.5?
Oh, yeah.
Around.
Exactly. Tease that and then take the over, over 45 or something like that. That's going to be a popular teaser. And again, you could see it even with Dallas. And I'm going to take it 13, but I would say 90% of the people out there who do play teasers are dialing this up for New Orleans going, they ain't losing. Just take them to win the game.
I don't get to listen all the time, but when I do, it's always great. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Is this show getting gas like the Ice guys?
Yep. We will not be on tomorrow. So this is our last show.
It's our last show, guys. So We kind of wanted to keep that a secret, so we will not be here going forward. So it sucks. We hate to lose this show because we enjoy it. We think it's a success and people like it. But yeah, we are going to be going. This is our last show. So thanks for the memories. Yeah, listen, R.S. Jacobs, we get it. Maybe if you tell us again that you have a teaser involving Maris and the Saints, maybe we'll see. Yeah, he's pretty much mentioned it about 20 times here on the channel.
Wait, though. Hold on. So it's a Saints Maris teaser, but do you get different numbers? Do you get 6 with the Saints as a teaser to use? And then what is basketball? It's not 6, right?
I listen, if you're no offense, dude, this is another kind of point to make. Basketball teasers suck. Okay, you shouldn't be doing those. But yeah, we hate to leave the channel because this is such a great show, but again, there's a lot of things going on, and we're leaving. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, look, I took a job with local Amazon warehouse. Jeff's going to be in a taxi next week, so we're going to live the life. It's nice knowing you.
Yeah. Well, never mind. I was going to try to keep that going, but of course Donnie has to ruin it. Donnie, again, do you ever consider jokes ever?
Why? You don't think I'm going to the Amazon warehouse at my old age?
No. By the way, we're kidding. As far as we know right now, no, this show is for right now still on. But who knows? Let's move on here. NFL Week 13, as we kind of move on into the next week. Donnie, what do you have your eye on here?
Yeah, no, there's just some topics just to pass around. Because, I mean, look, it's Thursday. You don't have a full NCAA card. We don't want to blow the gasket, Jeff, and just go over every NCAA game. And then be like, hey, it's Friday. What are we talking about? Well, let's go over the NCAA football card again. I just thought we'd pick up some topics here for some, conversation to go over. NFC three-way tie. Obviously, it's not a three-way tie. Yeah, what's up?
By the way, someone's saying Jeff in a taxi
you can't
laughing.
Fit in a taxi. Yeah, you can't, Jeff. You can't fit in a taxi, it says.
Actually, I think me being a taxi driver, I think I would be a great taxi driver. And taxi driving's about talking to the people and getting to know people and stuff. I think I'd be a great taxi driver. I'll be honest. I think that'd be a cool job, just to get to know people and drive places and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't do it. It's not a thing to make money. I think it'd just be a cool job to have. Some of the things you see late at night, probably interesting. Kind of fascinating, maybe. But I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I work, Jeff. I actually worked at Roadway Package, which is no longer there. I think it's FedEx Ground now. They bought them out in college, and I worked the overnight shift in 90-degree heat sometimes in that sweltering, warehouse. And I was in a truck myself, and my job was to unload the tractor trailers all by myself. And you know what all I prayed for, Jeff, at night when I did that? Is every other truck would come in, and the rails that would come down. You know how you put the boxes down, they slide down? Every other truck had terrible wheels on there. So I had to push the boxes down damn near myself. Man, what a way. And they're making $6 an hour, working overnight shift. 12 a.m. to 6:30 in the morning before the drivers came in. What the hell was I thinking, man? Jeez.
Yeah, sounds brutal, frankly. Jeff can't fit in taxi. Yeah. Actually, I don't drive at all. Actually, I don't do any driving. I'm so gigantic. I cannot move. That's even though I posted multiple videos of me working out every other day, and but I guess that's the funny joke. We'll keep it up. Cowboys need to bring my boy Jordan Shun up to back up Zeke. Settle down, Sam's picks. Jordan Shun who is Jordan? Oh, he played at Troy, Donnie, didn't he? Jordan Shun
played where? I don't know. No, Shun is at Arizona, right? Isn't that one of the players?
No, this guy played at Troy, Donnie. He was a backup for the Brandon Silver's teams. He was the running back.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. Okay. I think the listener knows that guy or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think he's a great player or anything. So I don't think he's going to be doing that. I think that's Rod Smith's job. All right, Donnie, let's get back to the NFL. What do we got here?
Yeah, three-way tie NFC East. It's going to be interesting this weekend because if you just play it by the numbers, you're looking at a Dallas Cowboy loss tonight. If you just say they're getting 7 points, they're probably going to lose the game. And then you flip it over to Monday Night Football. Eagles laying about 7, 6.5, depending on where you're shopping at. They should win that football game. So you have a three-way tie in the NFC East after Monday night and you wake up Tuesday morning. still think the Dallas Cowboys have the edge, Jeff. And the Dallas Cowboys have the home game versus the Eagles. They win that. That essentially gives them the tiebreaker dominance by beating them twice. And I just think they're a better overall football team right now than the Philadelphia Eagles. Pains me to say it, but I think that's the way it is. I don't think anybody's really giving Washington too much of a pat on the back for the rest of the way with Colt McCoy, are they?
No. I don't think anyone is. A lot of people in this town are already calling for the Eagles are going to kill the Redskins. Don't even worry about that. Colt McCoy, da-da-da-da. Yeah, well, Eagles still aren't a very good defense, though.
They get a nice bump. They'll be rested and ready to play the Eagles. Probably Tyron Smith will come back in that game. But there's a lot of injuries happen during the NFL. And if anybody gets, I don't know, Nigel Bradham's down now with a broken thumb in 3 places. I don't know what curse. I guess this is what you have to live with, Jeff, where you sell your soul to the devil for a Super Bowl, and then the next year he just says, you will be injured, and you will be injured, and you will be injured.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries on this team for sure.
Lamar Jackson, Jeff, keeping it up next. Not so much Lamar Jackson's won his past 2 games. He's going to start this game in Atlanta this weekend. Now, my question here, if we're taking a look at notes moving forward, you just make Lamar Jackson your starter the rest of the year and just see what you have in the kid and let him run on the fly, and you don't really care what happens. Because if you do want to make a run to the Super Bowl, if Baltimore can even do that,
but you've won 2 in a row with him.
Flacco. Yeah, but you probably would want Joe Flacco starting, but then an increased level of play. He's getting what 7, 8, 9 plays before when Flacco was starting. Now maybe you put Joe Flacco in when you're on your own 30-yard line, saying, "Hey Joe, man, just get us to like the 50s, cross the midfield, and then we'll put the young kid in there and we'll run some, wildcat and see what he can do out on the edges." I don't think Lamar Jackson moving forward this year is going to bring you any, reap of benefits. But then again, you're not going anywhere with Joe Flacco anyway. So do you just make the transition and go, you know what? Let's crash and burn, or let's fly and let's just see what we have here.
Yes. You've won 2 in a row, Donnie. I mean, that's all that I care about. Has this kid done anything well? Yes. We've won 2 in a row. Okay. He's our quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to that. You know what I mean? So. But
I'm not saying for years
I'm
they've
not
been
letting him play because
average.
he won 2 in a row. I'm letting him play because we're not going anywhere either way with Lamar Jackson or Joe Flacco, and I need to see what this kid has. You know what I mean? Get him some experience before next year where you're like, all right, let's see what we got. You know what I mean?
R.S. Jacobs, you're a nice guy, but this is one of the dumbest comments I've ever seen on here. Yes, Redskins will treat Eagles like little brothers, like always.
Yeah, they've had some success against the Eagles, but not in the way that the Eagles slapped it. What did I see that last stat too? Because I can't even. It's hard to even remember. Like when the last.
When's the last time the Redskins won anything? I'm missing that. I don't seem to remember.
Now there's a lot of dusty trophy cases in the NFC East, except for the team on.
R.S. Jacobs wasn't even alive last time they were good, probably. But he's a big.
No, that's our comeback joke now. You know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl trophies outside of the Eagles are on Social Security. You know what I mean? Because nobody remember that shit was on like VHS tapes, beta. You know what I mean?
Really hope you guys are joking about the show being canceled. Why is that? Yeah, it sucks, man. I don't know. What are we gonna do? Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, Jared Smooth. They won the Super Bowl, so we don't really care what happened. The Redskins don't win ever. They've not won since the 90s. No Gordon, no problem. Josh Gordon's out, Donnie?
Who's saying? What's that? Where's that comment?
Oh, Melvin. Oh, Melvin Gordon. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Josh Gordon. What does that even matter?
Well, I don't know what Gordon you mean. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Melvin. Yeah, Melvin Gordon's out there losing. San Diego loses on RCA. See, look at that. Yeah, I'll call him it. San Diego Chargers lose on Sunday night to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just the way it goes in the NFL. How about Jags empty, Jeff? Next topic of conversation. Not to say that they don't want to play or they can't play, but it comes a point when you get rid of your offensive coordinator, bench Mr. Blake Bortles, who was an awful draft pick to begin with as the 3rd overall pick, and now you're moving forward and saying, we're going to go with Cody Kessler at quarterback, and now Jalen Ramsey, which you can see this coming from a mile away, like, dude, I'm not even hurt. I just hate it here. Hey, coach, my knee hurts. How about that? It looks like they're coming apart, man.
No, I know. I see that. Their team is a mess. What a mess they've become.
And they shouldn't be a mess, right? Like, imagine if you had a competent quarterback that gave you. And look, this is a Jacksonville. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. 3-1 to open the season after whitewashing the New England Patriots, and it all went bad. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's they went from literally the AFC Championship to 4-7.
Like
or
you should
3
have been able to go into the next year and be like, we're just going to D up. And if Blake Bortles is average this year, we'll have our 11 wins and we'll make a run in the playoffs and we'll give everybody, hell on wheels because of our defense. And it just didn't work out. And now you have Doug Marrone, who they don't like. Jeez.
Per usual, Donnie, in my life, in your life, everybody's so salty. So many people in this chat are so salty. The Eagles are not champions of the world. You only got one. We got one, though. That's the point.
You only won Powerball once.
Yes.
That means
yes.
Jeff's so stupid. He only won the lottery one time.
Jeff, yeah, that fucking guy, man, he didn't even fucking deserve that Powerball. He just got lucky. Yep. You're right, I did. How you feeling? Jeff, that wife he has, that girlfriend he has, how do you get her? That Donnie, I mean, everything good happens to him. It's happened to me. So keep watching me, buddy. One is all you need. Exactly, Jansen. Thank you. How many?
All you need is one.
Sean, how many teams? How does your team have? Hey, K-Trick, how many teams? How many Super Bowls your team have? You're probably, none. How do you feel? Eagles are champs. Just get over it. It's happened already.
Yep, life's complete. Life cycle's complete. Jeff, what about that Sunday Night Football game, though? Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts on that one? Close win, escape versus Jacksonville. You should have won versus Denver. You outplayed Denver, but you took an L on the scoreboard. Come back home to Steel City. Maybe James Conner gets it rolling again out there. Big Ben doesn't throw that stupid interception like he always seems to do. I think they handled their business Sunday night.
Yeah, they're really good at home generally, too, for the most part. Chargers, no Gordon. Yeah, I like it. I got to look more into the number, but yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, the numbers get looked at. The 3.5, it opens up, but you're getting Chris -3, -125, -3.5 plus 102. And if that's a 3-point line, that's Steelers, man. I've had a pretty good read on the past couple Sunday Night Football games, and this falls into that same category. I just think Pittsburgh's a better overall team, especially now. Hey, Jeff, if you're getting Melvin Gordon in this football game completely healthy, maybe I'm doing a little bit of a double take. But Melvin Gordon's out. I want no part of that offense whatsoever.
Me either. Great point. Donnie, do you think Phillip Rivers is a right-away Hall of Famer, first ballot?
He's going to be a Hall of Famer because he has longevity and a ton of statistics. So that's the way you're usually gauged in the NFL these times. And I don't think he's retiring at the end of the year. So he'll stack another 5,000 yards onto his career. So that's the way I look at it. You think he's Hall of Famer? You got to think he's Hall of Famer.
Oh, sure I do. For sure. Why do you guys sit there and say the same shit about the Cowboys double standard? But again, it was last year. Reggie, you're talking about stuff that happened when you weren't able to. Well, the Cowboy fans make the comment of, well, why are you guys talking about the past if we can't? Because it fucking happened last year.
Yeah, we're still the champ.
30 years ago. Get out of here.
I mean, if you still
what would you win? 93? Yeah, exactly.
They won when you could manipulate the salary cap. You know what I mean? When they can just have more money than everybody else. Now that there's a even restraint on the salary cap, teams
not anymore. Not anymore. You can't buy everybody. And you have Jason Garrett as your coach. It must suck so bad to be a Cowboy fan. It must suck so bad to have to look up and see this motherfucking shirt. And you know why I wear this shirt so much? Because it fucking bothers all you dudes. All of you. Just haters. You hate on it. And the fact that I wear it just makes you even sicker because you hate me too. You hate seeing me have success. You hate my success level. You hate this. You hate all of it. You hate it. And then you see me wearing this shirt. It makes it even worse. But you know what? It ain't going nowhere because we're world fucking champions no matter what. How you feel about that? Bam, boom, bang.
How about Steelers fans? Steelers fans are better than Cowboy fans for the most annoying people. Yeah, Steelers fans are all right, though. That stupid, terrible towel and all that nonsense. And, the only reason why they're, again, but 99% of Cowboy fans are only Cowboy fans because they had some Super Bowls in the 90s and you were too weak in the mind to root for your own home team, so you latched onto them. Same thing like the Steelers fans in the 70s. too weak in your mind to actually latch on to your hometown team. So you just picked, I'm a Steelers. I've been a Steelers fan since '77. Yeah, why? Come on. You live in Kansas
Those are
City.
the Cowboys fans do. But why do you like Cowboys? Oh, well, my brother's brother-in-law, sister, she was a big Cowboy fan. She loved Staubach back in the day. That's why I like the Cowboys.
I went to my Uncle Jimmy's every year, and the Cowboys were on, man. That star just grabbed me. Bro,
my favorite
from
thing is,
Miami.
my favorite one
Come on.
Yeah, my favorite one is, well, the Cowboys were the only team on that in that area, in that era. They were the only team at that time. They're America's team. Shut up. But like, there's a guy, Donnie, that I used to know. He used to come into the bank that I worked at when I worked at a bank. His like uncle played on the Cowboys. Dennison was his name. I forget his first name.
Yeah,
but
sure. Yes.
like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that was his uncle. So like, he had like a legitimate, like, I could understand it. When he was a kid, his uncle played for the Cowboys. And they probably went and seen him and stuff.
I don't. You know what I say to that? When Uncle Dennison came over, yo, you about to get busted this week by the birds.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But yeah, I can make the sense there. But it's like I know this kid that I've talked about him before. He's from South Philadelphia his whole life. Grew up on the 2600 block of Jessup Street, literally in the shadow of the Link. It's literally blocks away. You can hear the crowd. It's so close. This fucking kid, and his father wasn't a Cowboys fan. His mother wasn't a Cowboys fan. Nobody in his family is a Cowboy fan, but he's a Cowboy fan. He's got a tattoo on his fucking on his arm. It's crazy. That I don't understand. I don't get. But yeah, they're the most delusional people on earth. Donnie, anything else in the NFL?
Texans win out, Jeff. The reason I bring that up is I actually think there's a really good shot for the Texans to win out, which you know me. I'm a hater. I like to put on the hater cap. You know what I mean? Slip it on my head and say, I hate Bill O'Brien, but they're doing some good things. Now, I say, can they win out? They're favored against the Browns. They should win that game. The Colts is going to be a tough one, Jeff, but it's at home. And then you're going out to play the Jets, who are dead and buried. And then second to last game, you do go play the Eagles on the road. But there was a good chance that the Eagles might not even be involved in a playoff run at that point. And then you play Jacksonville at home. Can this team run it all the way out, Jeff? So that would give them 9, 10, 11, 13 straight? Wow.
I'm just sitting here happy that I have a future on them at this point, which I can't believe it because I didn't think that I would be happy about that. But maybe they can do it, Donnie.
Look, I would never in a million years call for that. But this schedule is really good and really set up well where you're saying we got 1, 2, 3 home games, but your 2 road games both coming up in the Northeast and 2 teams that might be, I can't even believe I'm saying it. How the hell can Houston end up third? They might end up 13-3, legitimately.
I love it. I'm happy about this. I love this. Let's get into a couple other things. We only have a few minutes here, but we'll get into some more of the championship week college football stuff at 3:00. Donnie and I join us every day on the radio. We'll take your calls. You want to join us? All you Cowboy fans, you have something to say? Feel free to give us a call. We'll get you on the air. You can talk about it live if you wish. But you probably won't. But yeah, we'll do that later. Donnie, Paul Johnson retires from Georgia Tech. Got to be your comment at Willie Fritz seems to make a lot of sense.
No, you're right about it. Yeah, it's wouldn't it be an even transition? And what are you going to do if you're Georgia Tech? Do you just go back to a pro style team? It seems like it's your niche because you're like that Vanderbilt type football team where you can't really compete because it's really hard to get in that university. It's a tough recruiting ground because you got Auburn right next door, Georgia in-state, Alabama's close by. It almost seems like this niche works for them. And now you're going to go back to like a pro style. So I don't think it's going to work for them.
Yeah, I'm hearing Matt. Somebody mentioned Jeff Collins, Temple. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. We'll see. You're going to see a lot of obviously people moving on. Coaches. I mean, I'm already seeing Donnie some moves with Bowling Green's hired a coach. A couple different types of different teams. One other note, Donnie, your boy Ronald Torreyes got traded. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, Jeff? Thank you for bringing this up. That's very kind of you because I always said he had no business whatsoever
Which
being in the major
sucks.
leagues. It was almost like a gimmick. And then I wake up and I see he got traded.
It's
I'm like, oh,
actually
who did
not
they
a
get
gift.
back? And I'm like, who did they get back? I wonder who they actually got back. Cash
Colorado.
considerations? Wow.
Yeah, the Cubs acquire around Torres, which Donnie, I don't think you could be more wrong about him being an MLB player. He's a good utility infielder, and he hit 281 in his career, so he's actually a pretty good player. He doesn't play a ton just because he's been a utility guy, and the Yankees have just had an overhaul of a lot of good young players in the infield.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he doesn't make a lot of money. He's only 26, and he's a pretty good hitter. I'm not going to compare him to this player, but he kind of done. You know what he reminds me of? Kind of he's kind of like a poor man's Gene Segura to me. Like a low level guy.
No, Gene's way better. But see,
No,
I agree a little bit with you here. I think Ron
notice what I'm
Torres, if
saying.
you put him as a
Low level.
utility guy.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
could
know.
play multiple positions. He's not. Look, Gene Segura's a great player. He's kind of like a mini version in a way of him. Like he can do multiple things.
And
He's a pretty good hitter.
Leaving New York, Jeff, I mean, he had the perfect job. I mean, look, he could play, fill in at maybe shortstop or third base during the day. He can go up to Yonkers and jump on a horse and, ride him through, or go over to Meadowlands Raceway and, ride a horse. I mean, he had the perfect life. He could have went extra, Jeff.
I hate this. I like Torres a lot. I thought he was useful always. I think he's one of those kind of guys you always have on your team. I love players like this. They're dynamic, really, anywhere you put them. I don't like seeing him go. Sucks. Why are messages being deleted? I don't know. You have to ask SPR. I don't have the ability to delete messages. Probably because they're saying dumb stuff. That's my guess. But yeah, I hate to see it. You hate to see that, Donnie. But it's time to wrap the show up. We hope you have a great Thursday. We'll be back at 3 o'clock. I'll also be back a little bit later with the student section, me and Drew Martin. So yeah, we'll be back, and hopefully you all join us for that. Anything else, Donnie?
No, I think we're good to go, man.
Very good. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.